Angela was a young lovely girl who lived in the bustling city of Lagos. She was loved by everyone who met her. With her bright smile and kind heart, she seemed to have it all: an excellent job, a loving fiancé, and good friends. But among those she called her friends, there was one who wasn't as happy for her as she appeared: Grace. Grace and Angela had been friends since their university days. Grace was always there to celebrate Angela's achievements, or so it seemed. But deep inside, she harbored envy. Angela's success, her glowing personality, and even her fiancé, David, made Grace's stomach churn with jealousy. However, she kept her feelings hidden behind a mask of smiles and compliments. For Angela's 30th birthday, Grace planned something special, or so Angela thought. Grace gave her a beautiful mirror, framed in gold with intricate designs that sparkled in the light. Angela was thrilled. "Ah, Grace, this mirror is too fine. Thank you so much," Angela said, hugging her friend tightly. Grace smiled, but it wasn't the kind of smile you'd expect from a best friend. "You deserve it," she said sweetly, but her eyes told a different story. Angela hung the mirror on her bedroom wall, admiring it every day. Little did she know, the mirror wasn't ordinary. Grace had visited a powerful spiritualist to have the mirror bewitched. The mirror allowed Grace to spy on Angela's every move, steal her blessings, and transfer her own bad luck to Angela. Angela's life began to unravel not long after her birthday. First, she was called into her boss's office at work. She was expecting praise for her performance but was shocked when she was handed a termination letter. "Angela, I'm sorry, but we have to let you go. The company is restructuring," her boss said, avoiding her gaze. She pleaded, "Sir, what did I do wrong? I've been working so hard." "It's not about you," he mumbled. "It's just bad timing." Angela left the office in tears. It didn't make sense. She was one of the best employees, and the company seemed to be doing fine. Things went downhill from there. Weeks turned into months, and despite sending out countless job applications, no one called her back. Her savings dwindled, and she began to depend on David for support. One evening, David called her over for a serious talk. "Angela, I don't think this is working," he said, looking anywhere but at her. "Working? What do you mean? We are planning our wedding," she exclaimed, her heart pounding. David sighed. "I just don't feel the same anymore. I'm sorry." Without further explanation, he walked away, leaving Angela devastated. Angela's once perfect life was now a nightmare. She cried herself to sleep every night, wondering where she had gone wrong. Meanwhile, Grace was thriving. Her small business, which had been struggling, suddenly took off. Her social media posts flaunted her new lifestyle: vacations, expensive clothes, and even a new boyfriend who looked suspiciously like David. At first, Angela didn't suspect anything. She trusted Grace. But one day, while scrolling through Instagram, she saw a post of Grace wearing a necklace David had once given her. Something clicked in her mind. Could Grace have something to do with her misfortune? Angela brushed off the thought. "No, Grace is my friend," she told herself. But the seed of doubt had been planted. One Sunday, Feeling broken and hopeless, Angela decided to visit a new church. She sat quietly at the back, tears streaming down her face as the pastor preached about restoration. After the service, the pastor, a calm but powerful man named Pastor Michael, walked up to her. "Sister, can I pray for you?" he asked. Angela nodded, unable to speak. As Pastor Michael prayed, he suddenly paused. "There is a mirror in your house," he said. "The Lord is showing me that it's not an ordinary mirror. It's the source of your problems." Angela's eyes widened in shock. "A mirror? But my friend gave it to me as a gift." Pastor Michael looked at her kindly. "Not all gifts are blessings. Some are traps. Go home, break the mirror, and come back to me for prayers." Angela rushed home, her heart pounding. She stood before the mirror, suddenly aware of how cold and airy it looked. Summoning all her courage, she grabbed a hammer and smashed it to pieces. The moment the mirror shattered, Grace, who was at home at the time, screamed. Her boyfriend rushed to her side, but she couldn't stop convulsing. Overwhelmed by guilt and spiritual backlash, Grace confessed everything to him. "I used that mirror to monitor Angela," she sobbed. "I exchanged her blessings for mine. But now it's all backfiring." Word reached Angela through mutual friends that Grace wanted to see her. Though hesitant, she agreed. Grace fell to her knees the moment she saw Angela. "Angela, I'm so sorry. I was jealous of you. I used the mirror to steal your destiny, but now everything is falling apart for me." Angela, though hurt, chose to forgive her. "God will judge us all, Grace. I hope you've learned your lesson." Angela returned to Pastor Michael, who prayed for her again. Slowly, her life began to turn around. She got a new job, one even better than her previous one. David, realizing his mistake, begged for her forgiveness, but Angela decided to move on without him. She met someone new, a kind and God-fearing man, and her joy was restored. As for Grace, she lost everything she had gained unfairly and spent years trying to rebuild her life. Angela learned an important lesson: not everyone who smiles with you is your friend. From then on, she chose her friends carefully and trusted God above all else.